All right, just checking this is the right scene. Perfect. Yes, today it's game announcement day, right? Stern Pinball just announced Dungeons and Dragons with some subtitle of like the Tyrant's Eye or something like that, right? So what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna look at the assets, kind of go through the different models, and kind of look at the gameplay. There's a trailer and there's like a mini kind of featurette of the game, and I'm just gonna kind of check it out and see what it looks like, and if this is something that would interest the pinball fans at any capacity. So let me see here where I need to be. Here we go. Yes. So was kind of the first link that kind of popped up in our Slack channel, right? So, and I think this is the one where George Gomez kind of have a little chat about the game, and Brian and Dwight are on the horn as well and talk about some of the features. So I'm just going to kind of look through this and kind of comment on it as we go along it, right? So yeah, so the Tyrant's Eye. So apparently this is something that is like a story or whatever you call them, little adventures in D&D that you go through, right?
Hey everybody, it's George Gomez at Stern Pinball, and we're here today to celebrate a storied franchise that has entertained players.
Yes, so this is the 50th anniversary, right? That is quite significant. And at the end of the day, and that was 1974, right? So, and we're at 2025 now, but the announcement was made, was it New Year's Eve or something like that? So, yeah, you see the date on the game everywhere. It's kind of 2024 to kind of celebrate that that anniversary. So let's
for over 50 years. I'm thrilled to present our latest game, Dungeons and Dragons: The Tyrant's Eye. Players will go on an epic and thrilling adventure.
All right, so you can kind of look at the LE here, kind of at a glance, right? And I kind of like the side art and like with the flames and all that, and the deep red is pretty cool. And there's obviously one significant toy on the playfield here is the big dragon that kind of moves back and forth. It doesn't look like you can actually shoot the ball into his mouth, right? But he spits balls, apparently. But at the end of the day, besides that, this is a kind of typical kind of fan layout with a few side shots here. Kind of reminds me a little bit about the Black Rose, Bally Black Rose, where you have a bunch of different side shots and stuff like that. Let's
into forgotten realms to battle iconic enemies, including the most advanced animatronic dragon in pinball.
The most advanced animatronic dragon. There's a lot of qualifiers on that, but okay. It moves more than Smaug on Jersey Jack Hobbit. We can obviously see that, and I guess that's what he's trying to take a dig at.
Wrath the Relentless. This red dragon intelligently reacts to player action with multi-axis motion and features omnidirectional impact sensing technology, all while breathing fire in the form of pinballs. In addition,
so was the mountain moving there while he was kind of flinging around? Yeah, look at this thing here, how that kind of pans out. Are we getting? I wonder if we're getting dual arrows. Yeah, we're getting dual arrows. We're just gonna have to live with that.
Form of pinballs. In addition,
so let's see it again.
Motion and features omnidirectional impact sensing technology, all while breathing fire in the form of pinballs.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. You can see the thing kind of lifting, right? While the dragon is moving, right? So this must be a very
form of
early
pinballs.
prototype. See
in addition to an array of flowing ramps and shots, the game highlights some really cool playfield toys that bring Dungeons and Dragons into the pinball universe. You'll notice the gelatinous cube with magical magnet ball interaction, a player-controlled shield
magic ball interaction. It's a magnet, George.
Device, and of course.
So that was a kind of a new kind of way to
player-controlled shield device.
to present it. I mean, there's not enough post or whatever, the little pucks, right? So it's basically a metal shield that pops up between the flippers, and I can yeah, well, let's see how that kind of because that is like in the direct ball path between the flippers and everything. Anything that sits there just kind of annoys me. So let's see how that.
And of
actually
course,
works
disappearing dungeon entrance.
A sword is only as strong as the one who wields it.
So it looks like that ball pop up on the
Tyrant's Eye
there
is brought
just
to
like
life
kind of
with
grabbing
custom
the ball.
speech
It's not
and voice
actually,
talent
like,
by a
funneling the ball anywhere else. It's sort of like a vanishing scoop because it looks like there's some video mode that you play while that is happening.
star-studded cast, including Michael Dorn,
Come here, tasty traveler.
Luke Gygax,
Nothing is impossible.
Kevin Smith,
Enough talk! Let's finish this!
Brendan Small,
We meet again.
Matthew Mercer,
You are being attacked by a gelatinous cube.
and many more.
So there's a pretty cool cast of characters that they recruited for this. Like having Michael Dorn as the dragon, that's a very clever move. He definitely has the talent for that. The other ones, I'm not quite sure who they are. But I just want to kind of comment on some of the the RPG elements here, right? And it's very 1989-ish. No, I wouldn't say 89-ish. It would be very early PC era, right? And I don't know if that is intentional or not, but there's some kind of 3D elements, but it's like this looks very unpolished.
All prepared for this.
From
The
a
art
UI
on the game was
perspective, but I guess
created
they're
by
gonna
prolific Dungeons
work
and
on it.
Dragons illustrator Vince Prose.
Pretty.
So they used a proper D&D artist. Oh, shite. A proper D&D artist, which is a good thing, right? So then the fans of the franchise will be immediately at home. And I say fans of the franchise, I'm just like Dungeons and Dragons, what kind of thing. I didn't grow up with it, so I'm not sure what we're looking at here. I'm obviously recognizing some of the elements, like in all the RPG stuff. All the RPGs that we play today have like roots in this somehow, like one way or another.
Good.
The music was created by world-renowned
Yeah, but limited edition is definitely the game to get here. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, if you're and the thing, how the art blades kind of kind of melds the playfield with the dragon's head and all that. That is just, I mean, that's a must, right?
video game composer Chris Velasco.
Most impressive.
And now, lead game designer Brian Eddy and software dungeon master Dwight Sullivan will take you through the pinball adventure of a lifetime.
All right, let's see.
It begins.
What I really wanted to do in this game is take the player on a journey. The fantasy world of D&D is so rich and full of incredible stories, places, characters, and of course, monsters and traps. So how will you choose to navigate the world?
You are on the road to Darkhold.
We've really tried our best to integrate D&D with pinball. At the start of your first game, players will be able to choose from 4 characters. Each character will have their own buff within the game. For example, the wizard has longer shield time. Each of your saved characters will have their own progress.
I'm proud.
From a UI perspective, like this particular scene here does not look very good, right? You have a very dark, shadowy character against this like basically a blank sheet of letter paper with some font that doesn't belong to that particular era, right? So that's something for him
Proud
to
to
work
fight
on.
alongside you.
This looks better.
Just like the openness of D&D, the game's story changes based on your choices.
We have a map on the playfield. You'll be able to travel about our map all you want. You can play different dungeons and wizard modes. You can also buy things from Thismo, our in-game shopkeeper.
There's multiple wizard modes.
He has different things to sell at different locations on the map, so you gotta remember where the big ticket items are. Our game has a story, The Tyrant's Eye. Our writer, Zach Prost, and I spent months writing a story, and then we took that story and we turned it into all of the modes of the game.
It all begins with Tiamat hatching a new plan to escape her banishment.
You can't have a D&D game without a fierce dragon, right?
All right, so that's pretty cool that they actually worked with D&D writers to actually write a story for that's unique for the game, right? I think that's That's definitely A for.
And we have the most
A for
amazing
effort
one
there.
ever in a pinball machine, the Red Dragon, Wrath the Relentless.
I see you running away.
On the Premium and LE, not only does the Dragon's head move in multiple directions, which allows him to avoid getting hit or to block playfield shots, he can also shoot flaming pinballs out of his mouth. Okay, well maybe not actual flames, but it's going to feel like that in a battle.
Face my wrath.
You and your party.
But that dragon is kind of guarding a treasure, just like Smaug, right? And Michael Dorn kind of sounds like the Cumberbatch dude, right? I mean, it's just such a dig at it.
Are of course trying to steal Wrath's gold by hitting the 3-bank under him and then trying to hit his head to
generic
defeat
thing
him.
That's my treasure.
Wrath is
Dragon's
really
kind of
brought
hoard
to
treasure.
life by the incredible voice talent of Michael Dorn,
I will consume you.
making him one of the most iconic pinball villains of all time.
You dare challenge me?
There are also multiple overlapping and cascading ramps, so it feels like you're going on a journey. Hit the road to town right ramp to travel, or take the shortcut loop to the upper flipper. The game features an up-down ramp that leads to a gelatinous cube that, just like the monster in D&D, will grab the ball with an electromagnet and freeze it inside the cube.
You are stuck.
The player must then come to the rescue by hitting it out in time before it's devoured.
We have a dungeon crawl feature that lets you travel through a dungeon looking for the award room.
The dungeon crawl is unique because it's part physical shots and part video, where the player makes
This looks
choices
like Eye
on
of
which
the
direction to
Beholder.
go at each junction. It could
But
lead
a
to an
little bit
amazing treasure
more
room,
modern.
attacking monsters, or even a dragon.
Don't go in there.
The game is procedurally generated, meaning all of the randomness in the game is predetermined and changes every Sunday. You'll have 1 week to learn and explore the game. You'll learn where the dungeon crawl leads you. You'll learn where Fismo is selling different items on the map. Then on Sunday,
get a
you'll
new
have a
game
whole
every
new
Sunday,
gaming
folks, if you
experience.
get this
It'll
one.
start all over.
There are many other elements that pull you into the fantasy
need to have
world.
good memory
There are
for
little
that week
details
for that
everywhere on the
game.
playfield.
I can barely
During your
remember the
travels, you
rules
could
of
be
any of my
attacked by
games I own,
monsters,
so.
An owl bear.
where you can shoot the critical hit captive ball,
Critical.
or find the hidden temple shot behind the upper
So
flipper
where
for
was
double
that captain
scoring.
ball? Oh, it's far in the back.
On the Pro Edition, players will experience a lot of the same action and flow in the immersive world of Dungeons & Dragons.
So the Pro kind of seems like it has all these shots, and it's actually moving the head as well. And it
Through the
has
power of
shield.
Insider Connected, we're integrating our new pin save system. With each new game, you will pick up where you left off.
We got a
You will
pin
start
save
on the map
system.
where you ended your last game. Even in the middle of a dungeon, you can decide not to have your
So
play
this is,
saved. You can play
basically
from the
the
beginning every
RPG
single game if
2.0.
you want to. It's all up to you.
Let's finish this!
We are beyond excited for you to experience the fantasy world under glass, fusing pinball with the iconic franchise like never before.
Make your choice.
Get ready to roll with the new Dungeons & Dragons The Tyrant's Eye at
the artwork is
sternpinball.com.
sort of pretty decent on all three editions. Let's just dive into that. All right, we got. So let's go to the website here and see what they say. Yeah, let's see if I can get rid of the dual action pointers here. This is very annoying. Yeah, so that's just one pointer now, right? Looks like it. Or who am I fooling here? Yeah, you only got one pointer, right? Yeah, let's run with that. All right, games. Here it is. So there's a game trailer. Oh, I haven't seen this.
You may choose a character.
This is going to be fun.
Critical hit.
Oh, the tyrant.
A dungeon.
Initiator! Prepare to die.
Wrath the Relentless!
Let's finish this!
All right, so that was the same thing without the speech, I guess. Okay, so where did it go here? View game. Yeah, here are the different editions. I somehow kind of like the pro artwork a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. But let's look at the pictures of the premium. I guess that's what the people are gonna go for. So that's a pretty good overview of the playfield, I guess. Yeah, so you kind of get a pretty overview of the shots back here. It seems to be like 2 side shots here, and they have some icons. Kind of each main shot has like an icon associated with it. This is some rope and some hook and feather. So I guess you kind of collect things as you kind of progress through the game. It also has that like Spider-Man feed here, spider sense, and that's kind of where the 2x scoring. Yes, there's double scoring on the insert there, so I guess you can light that, whop the ball in there, and now it almost looks like you can shoot that shot from the flipper as well, from feeding it both from under the flipper and shooting it from the left flipper. And what's going on here? Can't quite see what's going on there. There's there's some feed there. We're gonna have to look at a different angle. Traveling on a map is sort of like we've seen that before. I kind of like the idea though that it is kind of like an RPG element. You kind of travel between places and you fight mobs and stuff like that. And here's the critical hit captive ball. It seems to be just a stand up in the back there, but it doesn't have to be more than that. Looks a little bit interesting because it kind of looks like it funnels. It's not like a straight shot. I can be wrong there though. And there's also like a whoop ass Vuk here at the tiniest tavern there that launches the ball up to the one of the ramps there. It looks like the one that feeds to the gelatin cube. So there's a pretty good mix of metal and plastic ramps here. I do appreciate that we have wire forms feeding the flippers. It seems that is the standard convention now, and I wonder if we have Keith Elvin to thank for that, because ever since he came aboard, that's kind of been the convention. So appreciate that. But I kind of like the playfield art in a sense that it's sort of it's very like traditional, in a sense that it's like it kind of tells a story, right? Where there's a bunch of mobs, there's a bunch of different landscapes, some heroes and different elements and things like that, and you also have like you got water and ice there, I guess, and you got kind of rock here, got some fire, some lava, and some kind of arcane kind of magic stuff there in the center shot. And this is supposed to look like a little bridge here. Yeah, just taking in the chat there. I'm not buying any of these. The thing is, it's a buyer's market at the moment, right? Anyone can buy any game for any amount of money, it seems like. I got my Venom out for Venom LE out for 8,500. We've been out for a week on Pinside and not a single nibble, right? So that's how hot it is selling pinball today. And nobody's even tried to lowball me, right? So I don't know what's with that. I can ship anywhere in the US and all that good stuff, right? Yeah, this kind of lower arch here kind of tells a story as well. You're kind of sitting inside a fort here, and you have a bunch of knights trying to raid your castle. All right, pretty cool. I want to see a few of those side shots there that we couldn't quite see. I wonder if this is a good picture to look at. Not ideal. Let's see if there's a better angle. This one maybe? No. Yeah, maybe. All right, here we can see something at least. So there's a scoop here, a little saucer at least, and there's some other thing kind of. There's a wire gate there. I can see that much. But this is a very dim lit area. I can't quite make out what's in there. Yeah, there's a saucer. I can kind of. But is there anything like diverting to it, or is there anything behind here? No, that's just a ball trap there. Yeah, maybe it's just a saucer, like the Bond one, I am assuming. And maybe you shoot up this here and it kind of feeds back into the saucer or something like that. I didn't quite, yeah, none of the demos kind of show that. And this target bank here, I was kind of assuming that would kind of drop down at one point, but it looks like it's kind of just 3 static targets. Mountain passage. Yeah, there's a drop down ramp there that kind of, I think that's a pretty slick thing to have there. And a dungeon crawl, which I just think it's a saucer that traps the ball, right? And pulls it down. I don't know if it has a lock mechanism to it as well for some 2-ball, multi-ball action, but I don't know, because the thing is that Stern never builds games with like subways, right? And that's kind of what I'm basing that speculation on. That it doesn't like feed anywhere. When you shoot it, it doesn't really feed anywhere. It will just spit the ball back right back out. Okay, we kind of passed this one here. So everybody got names on the playfield. Well, look at that. They got stickers on the flippers. That's new. Oh, we got some rules here. Let's have a chat about that. All right. Objective: defeat Tiamat's plans to escape her banishment and bringing darkness to all of Faerun. Choose character. Right flipper selects a character. Each character has special abilities. Left flipper selects location to start your campaign. All right, so that's pretty neat. So you can kind of select where you want to spawn. And on the map, you can play nearby 1, 2, 3 modes to start Town's Wizard mode. During Gonti Grim or Dragon Spear Castle, you will choose the final boss, Samaster, Sanathar, or Balinor. Win battle to unlock a new class. So there's a little bit of a Venom element here, right? So how you can unlock new hosts on Venom, you can unlock new classes. And I'm sure that's kind of part of the pin save system, right? And in a way, I kind of like this thing here. So one thing, one thing I couldn't see on the playfield is that you like statically select like say 4 different classes, right? So there's no hard-coded inserts or anything like that on the playfield, and that will allow them to basically release new classes. They can release an entirely new campaign, like with with new classes, new mobs, and all that stuff, and do all that in software, right? But the question is, like, once this game is kind of sold out its allotment, right? How much interest will they have in that, right? Unless they're trying to monetize this, right? Imagine that they'll release an entirely new campaign on Stone Insider Connected, new map, new towns, new mobs, new monsters, new bosses, new classes, new abilities, right? They have the power to do that. And we have credit cards to swipe. So that's just me speculating. But I mean, at one point, like, this whole Stone Insider Connected, it's built to be monetized. Don't think about like anything else. It's not for anyone to have more fun. It's for you to give them more money. So right now they're just monetizing the operators, right? But they want to monetize the players as well. Because that's how they will get investors to for future project and expansions and such, right? Standard business practices. There's nothing wrong with Stone for doing this. They just want to get to like where every technology company is today. They have something called annual recurring revenue rate, right? And that's basically what every technology company needs to come up with. A business plan to kind of lock that in, and that is basically the practice of earning money in your sleep, right? So you have somebody subscribe to a service that you have or whatever, and they're basically giving you money even if they're not using it. It's like a gym card basically, right? Anyhow, I digress. So let's see what else we got here. We're gonna travel on the map, shoot green shots to move from town to town. But be careful, monsters lurk. Yeah, we saw a bit of a battle there with some dice thrown. It was pretty neat. Play town modes, drag on multi-balls, dungeon crawls, or buy one from fist mode. That's how you can obtain an extra ball. And then there's 2 different multi-balls on the card here. Yeah, just bash the dragon. I like that because that's intuitive for new players. Shoot the big moving thing on a playfield and something will happen. That is kind of like a no-brainer. You need to have that. And then you have the gelatinous cube multi-ball. Shoot left orbit to bring down ramp. Shoot ramp to get caught in the cube. Shoot left ramp again quickly to free from the cube. Okay. So that's kind of like your orbital 2-ball multi-ball, and you need to be quick and swift there. And and I guess that ramp that comes down there, you need to be, so that will probably be timed then, right? So you need to get the ball up the ramp and also like hit the ball in the cube, and that will release the 2-ball multi-ball, right? Yeah, that's a good sentiment that you're only gonna pay to win, right? Exactly. It's just like, yeah. But we had some discussions on Slack here, like how this kind of game will fare in a setting where you kind of buy it for the home versus kind of play it in a tournament, right? And I can honestly predict that this game will suck pretty hard when you play it in a tournament. In the sense that obviously all this like progression and all the cool stuff, you kind of have to throw that out the window. And that is a little bit like Venom suffers from that as well, right? Because if you're a tournament player, you're just gonna have to start from bare scratch. You cannot pick your favorite host. You don't have any bosses cleared, right? And you just have to like get on the grind, right? And I can see how this is going to be any different, right? But on the but the upside of this is that like this is going to be the game of the year for home users. Like I have no doubt, right? Because that's the kind of value that Venom brings. I think is that it has so much variety in the terms that you can play so many different hosts, and it has so many different achievements on clearing the game with different hosts, and you can kind of select different hosts and getting to the Clintar multi-ball. That is a project that you need to plan out, right? It's just like it gives you so much replay value, right? And I think a game like this for the home will give you an infinite amount of replay value in the sense that they're going to kind of refresh the procedural dungeon every Sunday, and they're going to have a bunch of like free DLC for now, right? They're going to add probably add a few new classes, and there's going to be a topper for this game, hopefully. Venom. That topper will probably enable something, right? And so I think this will be a pretty good, solid home game, and it seems and it's also very approachable from that sense that it's very obvious where the shots are. Is starting a multiball, bashing the dragon somewhat, and listening to all these like call outs from all the voice talent. I think it's going to be a cool game for the home. And if you're a Dungeons and Dragons kind of nerd, I think it's a home run, so to speak, right? And I'm into action RPGs. I'm kind of wearing my Diablo shirt today just to kind of honor that. But I have not played any pencil and paper RPGs. I know I got one as a kid. I got the Star Wars one. It was in Swedish, I remember, but it was just way too much reading and way too less action, right? And I had video games at that time, so they were slow. Like I couldn't get into it. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so let's go down here. Besides the multi-balls, we have a dungeon crawl. It's getting difficult to read here. The dungeon crawler, yeah, how does that work? Hit dungeon targets a light dungeon. Okay, so there's a bunch of stand-ups around the playfield, I'm assuming. Shoot Tiny's Tavern to bring up the dungeon, trapdoor entrance, enter the dungeon to start dungeon crawl. Choose your directions wisely. So I wonder if you choose directions with your flippers or if you shoot target. Excuse me, I couldn't quite make that out. Because it kind of looks like a video game on the screen, but then he kind of talks about the shooting shots. So there's a battle system. So when a battle starts, shoot the red lights to cause damage. Your party will also help in attacks. Eliminate foes quickly before all of your hit points are reduced to 0. Okay, so they fight back. So you get basically into one of those kind of, well, I guess it's not going to be turn-based, but it's going to be turn-ish based, right? And you need to it's going to be active battle because you will shoot, as you shoot your shots, you can probably do a combo and finish them off pretty quickly, but they will fight back, and that's kind of what we saw on the display. All right, so this is the premium side. Yeah, the premium art has sort of, it has similar art on both sides. Let's look at it. It looks a little bit plain to me. I mean, I kind of like the art style somehow, but I thought the other editions had more going for it. Let's look at the. Let's look at the Pro Cab, but it kind of looks better, doesn't it? Okay, so that got your party there and your little eyeball. Yeah, this kind of translite looks exactly like Smog on the Hobbit playfield, right? If I would pull up the Hobbit playfield there and compare, you would see that immediately, because he kind of sits between the flippers, kind of with his arms up, or arms, wings, right? But it looks very, look how lame it looks without the side art here. And I'm gonna pull up the LE now so you can see what I mean. The LE is just like, they want to sell out the LE. That's for sure, right? Because it's so vastly different and way more attractive, right? Just look at this, right? Do you see how cohesive this looks here, right? With the dragons here, it kind of goes out in the mountain there. Like the contrast here, the red and the greens, it just looks so good, right? Yeah, and the back glass, it has a mirror finish to it as well, right? I mean, it's gonna look amazing. This looks like a proper role-playing game adventure. Yeah, it'll be a long playing game for sure if you set it up for it. But at the end of the day, like they said in the intro there, or the featurette, whatever, you can kind of you save your progression and you kind of start where you were on your previous game, right? Is he holding a fish there, or she? They? It looks like a fish there. Is that intentional? Oh, look at this. They got the jam nuts in a bundle here. Yeah, anyhow, I digress. So speaker lights seems to be a standard feature on the LEs these days. And I read somewhere that they're making 740 LEs, which is a celebration to like 74, I guess. But the thing is that people are not buying pinball machines anymore, it seems. So we'll see how that sale goes. I can't, in my wildest imagination, think that they sold out 1,000 Venom LEs. Let's see if there's any other interesting bits here. They usually release a bunch of documents and stuff, don't they? Like you know, like a feature matrix and things like that. Oh, you can actually shop now. Is it available? Contact for availability. No, look at that. I did sell out the at least the inside the connected ones sold out. Yeah, 13 grand. Yeah, so the thing is that I have to pay tax on this. This will cost me like 15 grand just about to get it delivered to my door if I would buy it from Stern's website. But where do they keep the feature matrix and things? I thought that, oh, promotional materials, here we are. Okay, so we got the tire inside teaser trailer, game trailer, features. Oh, have we seen this? Yeah, that's the goal.
Hey everybody,
trailer.
it's
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so the teaser, the game trailer. Yeah, those are the three we've seen. So look at the feature matrix here. Okay, so hardware and trim. What else? Let's see what the difference are here. So we got the Pro and the Premium here. Let's see here. Okay, the Rising Dungeon captures and takes the ball down into murky depth of classic dungeon crawl. So okay, so that is not available on the Pro. The dungeon crawler thing. So I guess it traps the ball somewhere else, probably in the tavern. The custom sculpted Red Dragon features vertical movement. So it actually the dragon moves on the Pro. That's a fall forward, isn't it? Detects hits and illuminated eyes. Premium LE gets the same dragon treatment. So here's another difference down here. So what's this? Dragon diverter to feed the dragon. Okay, so that kind of drop down ramp is not available on the Pro either. Different backlash art. It's just the trim levels. Yeah, there's nothing new there. General here. Oh wow. So here's an interesting difference. It is the 8 pinballs in the Premium and LE and 6 in the Pro. I wonder why that is. So I wonder if there's like ball traps on the playfield like Star Trek Next Generation kind of thing. Like there's it feeds balls. Like Twilight Zone right behind me, where you have like balls in the in the gumball machine. And here's the main attractions. Yeah, I mean the thing is, at the end of the day, I think this is gonna be it's a pretty timeless concept, right? Dungeons and Dragons, right? So I'm very cautiously optimistic that this is going to be a timeless classic from a pinball perspective, right? And we already have our Dungeons and Dragons pinball. What is it? Is it a Gottlieb or Data East or something? I can't even remember. Or is it a Bally Williams? Yeah, the old one with the kind of with the cool flame inserts and that like 2 feet tall topper. And because fantasy as a theme is a very timeless thing, and given Dungeons and Dragons been around for 50 years, I think it's a very good time for them to actually do this. So let's just hope they get the software right and get the like all the replayability on it that you can actually get with the RPG elements, like adding mobs and adding bosses and quests, and there was also somebody mentioned that they had like trinkets that works like power-ups, right? They can release a bunch of new trinkets that kind of power up things and stuff like that, right? But that's all in software, right? But if they play their cards right, this could be, you can get a lot of replay value out of this game for sure. But I mean, at that point, it's almost like it's not pinball anymore, right? It's you kind of you play Dungeons and Dragons with your flippers. And again, it's just like for home use, it's probably going to be a smash hit, right? But for tournament play, this is just going to be a grind, right? And you also need to set it up pretty hard, right? Because it kind of looks like every shot kind of is a nice feed, right? So everything besides shooting the dragon is sort of like dangerous. Yeah, but anyhow, I digress. I mean, the thing is, we've kind of gone through the assets and the artwork and looked at the shots and gone through the rules. And at the end of the day, reading the chat there again, it's not a lot of differences between the pro and the premium, and I like it a lot because some pros just get handed like a really rough hand. Where they strip out like crucial features and I mean, I don't want to like take a dig at anyone or anything like that, but I mean, like Venom is the absolute worst example of how you do not do a pro versus premium, right? It's just because the whole like Venom got so much shit because the pro is absolutely hideous and absolutely like it. Yeah, I don't know. It's the premium in LE is just like completely different game altogether, right? And on this game here, you will like, and we could also see that like with X-Men, for example, right, where the pro and the premium is just like it's the exact same game. It's just like on the premium, there's a few more things that move, right, and that's it, more or less, right? And on this as well, it's just like there's a few kind of tweaks here and there that makes the game like a more operator friendly, I guess, with less moving parts, but all the shots are there, and it's the same game essentially, right? Not like Venom where you basically deleted every diverter on the game and all of a sudden you have something that looks and plays like a homebrew. All right. But anyhow, thanks for hanging out and checking out the game announcement breakdown. I will not be getting this game because I can't sell games, and I have an in-out, one in, one out kind of policy. So if I had room for one, I would probably get one and play one for a while and see how the software kind of progresses. But we'll see. I mean, the thing is, if this will be like with the instant classic that I think it's going to be, this game will be available for quite some time, and we're probably going to see it at a lot of places, and we're probably going to get to play it like everywhere where there's pinball, basically, because it has that vibe that it's going to be an instant classic. I like what I've seen so far, for sure. And if it becomes a must-have title, it's just like you can pick it up later. Distributors will have this game stacked to the rafters for the next 5 years. So that's it. All right. Thanks, folks, for hanging out. Let's see if we can raid somebody if anyone is streaming pinball at this hour.